Talks, sponsored by Lexus of Las Vegas and Lexus of Henderson.
Millions of Americans are still waiting for their stimulus check, but now some of those people will receive their payment in the form of a debit card instead. I asked local financial professional Brad Zucker to explain why the cards are being mailed out and how you can use it. Brad, it looks like people are getting stimulus checks this time, but they're getting it in the form of a debit card?
Yeah, that's right. Until now, payments were directly deposited into our bank accounts or we received a paper check. But the Treasury Department and the IRS will be issuing about 4 million economic impact payment prepaid debit cards instead of a check. So if you receive a debit card, the IRS does not have your bank info on record and you would have received a paper check. Either way, direct deposit is the fastest way to get your money.
So how will this debit card work? Is it going to work like a regular debit card that we typically use?
Yeah, that's a great question. It is essentially a Visa debit card that could be used to make purchases, get cash, transfer money into your bank account. And you could use the card online, in store, on the phone, pay your bills, wherever a Visa debit card is accepted.
What should we do with the money that we are receiving?
Well, the first is you need to have an emergency fund because now more than ever, we see the importance of an emergency fund. And we found out that 50% of Americans don't even have $1,000 in a savings account. So your emergency fund should cover 3 to 6 months of expenses if you get laid off, miss a paycheck, or have an unexpected medical bill. When families don't have an emergency fund to pay unexpected bills, they may borrow money, which could lead to a cycle of debt. You know, it's hard to make debt payments on top of all your other bills, but we need to stay on top of the high interest debt like credit cards. Americans are carrying $14 trillion in debt. So I recommend the avalanche method. Organize all your credit cards and debt, prioritize the highest interest balance first, making minimum payments on the rest. When the highest interest balance is paid in full, go on to the next highest interest balance. And a debt worksheet will help organize balances, minimum payments, due dates, interest rates, and you could grab one right off my website at askbradzucker.com to get started.
Now, what else can we do with the money?
You know, saving for the future might be the last thing on our mind, but we need to put money aside and use your stimulus check to open a Roth IRA, which is a retirement savings tool that you pay taxes on the money before it goes in, but you withdraw the money in retirement tax-free. But remember, people in or near retirement can't afford to roll the dice with their life savings in hopes of a great outcome. People, both young and old, need both investments and safe money.
Will there be a second round of stimulus checks that we should all expect?
Okay, so the House Democrats did in fact pass a $3 trillion bill known as the HEROES Act. Now, the HEROES Act is going to issue a second $1,200 stimulus check per person, extend unemployment benefits all the way through January, and $1 trillion going to state and local governments. However, the bill faces a little pushback from the Senate, but if passed, it will be the largest relief bill in American history.
As always, thank you so much for your advice. We'll be right back.